while it's not something we'd perhaps expect to see him on, I definitely think it still works for him. Whose comp do you think you're favoring here? I mean, honestly quite like the Chiefs comp. I think there's still... The thing with Jace is it's always not feast or famine. It's just like, it's quite meticulous, I guess. Like, you do need to find yourself at least a little bit of a lead. I think you do need to play around, you know, hitting poke before fight starts. Whereas, you know, I think the Zeri Lulu is a bit more, you know, just guaranteed the Jax as well, kind of that AoE team fight. But I don't think it's clearly towards one side. I mean, I actually think both sides are coming pretty solid out of the draft.
Yeah, I definitely tend to agree. There is very light amount of AP on the side of Chiefs, which there isn't exactly a mega tank for Beyond, so it's not too much of a problem. But even just picking up those sort of light, you know, MR items can affect your team comp quite greatly. And it is phase rush on the Maokai, so we still don't really know if it's going to be AP or more of a tank or even the Moonstone. But I guess it will probably be the Moonstone that has seemed to have risen to popularity for the majority of the time for the Maokai. But with the Moonstone, you do definitely lack AP damage on their comp. And so even picking up, I mean, Jax, if he ends up getting some like MR or whatever for his items, he will become very difficult to deal with in the later stages of these games.
Yeah, I wonder, because it does feel like having that Maokai basically as your solo AP, you kind of need to itemize a little bit more damage. So maybe we'll see that. I'm not totally sure, though. I think there is a lot more agency here, though, for the side of Chiefs, which is something we kind of wanted to see, because I think while they remain kind of that mid-game, late-game team-fighting team, you still need kind of a bridge that can get you to that mid-game, right? It's kind of been shown time and time again that the PCS teams aren't going to let you just scale that first 10 minutes for free, so at least having a couple options to play through in the early game, I think is good. And in this game, they certainly have that, right? They have some gank setup and some pressure in the bot side. They've also got a winning top lane matchup. And I think mid is pretty 50-50. Probably not a whole lot is going to happen around there, honestly. But I like that they have options. And I think if we can see just... I don't think Chiefs have to go full out aggression and kind of win the early game. But I think just, you know, for the Oceanic teams, Chiefs and Bliss, really just trying to get to that teamfight stage without being so significantly far behind kind of allows you, I think, to play towards more what has been these teams' strengths. Yeah,
absolutely. Arguably, honestly, in both of those series, they did appear to be almost better at team fighting, but they were just so far behind. So they do have a lot of aggression that they can show, and honestly, a lot of gank set up for this Maokai. And so if they can get a lead, you have to feel really positive about their chances in this game. As we do see Kongyue starting top side. Looks like it will be the 3 camps and then heading down to bot, most likely. On the other side, Barbip starting his red side too. I imagine he will be headed up towards top. Do you think you can look at any sort of dive opportunities? I mean, JX is a pretty hard champion to dive, so I don't really see that being too likely. But, I mean, depending on how the lane goes, it is possible Jace could potentially poke him out a little bit, get him low.
It seems kind of hard to actually get the priority to move up to that. I mean, maybe because they could walk up, but it seems quite difficult, and the Gragas is actually taking a lot of damage in order to get this wave under. I'm not sure if he actually scouted the Raptors to see if they were started. I think you can kind of assume that those were solo started there, but I don't believe they got confirmation on it. Looks like, you know, Aladark and Ray's kind of pushed away. The Zeri Lulu does tend to win at least those first couple levels before kind of the melee support really gets the threat to start to combat that back. Okay, Babbitt, he's gonna... Yeah, he drops a sapling, just going to try and spot out a little of that and maybe can move towards top. As heavy train
headed mid. Will land the flash stun. Kisei getting extremely low here. Will he be able to get out? Will not. And that's first blood over to 1116. So already we see Beyond getting a bit of a lead in this game.
Kongyue, he picks up some more first blood participation as well. He just can't be stopped. Finds that successful kill. Was a flash trade though. Kongyue won't be able to gank another lane, I wouldn't think. It is quite difficult. Maybe could gank the Jace, but you have to feel like ganking Xayah Thresh is difficult. But it's not what you want to see for the start of this game for Chiefs, right? You want that more stable early game, and already kind of having a deficit in mid is definitely not what we were hoping for.
Definitely not, but I think if any of these lanes were to go down early, I think mid is probably the one that will impact the game the least. I mean, Casante's still doing okay in his CS, and it isn't likely that Gragas with a lead will be able to do much more in the lane than he already would with that Arcane Comet anyway. So, I mean, while it's obviously good gold for the side of Beyond Gaming, I don't think you have to worry too much for the Chiefs just yet.
I agree. I think that just yet is the thing, right? He is kind of the solo AP of his team, so in team fights, being accelerated feels really good for the Gragas as he gets spotted out. This ward will be not cleared, actually. But yeah, later on, 116 on the Greg. It's going to be a bit of a terror you'd expect. For now, though, isn't going to change the matchup too much, like you said.
There's also going scaling build at the moment.
Yeah, I wonder if he'll go for the Rod of Ages. I mean, we've seen Cheer pretty commonly picked up, but the Rod of Ages seems more mixed as we get 3 members moving towards topside. I like this proactivity out of the Chiefs, especially from Kize, who was, you know, down a bit, but now looking for the 3-man top. Kongwei's almost here, but not quite.
You have to feel like you want Maokai to maybe tank. Biopanther will start the tanking. Can he get out with Counter-Strike? Kongwei also has arrived, so have to be super careful. Barbip does have flash available for now. We'll have to use it. As Kisei, everyone makes it out, but you have to favor that for Beyond. And honestly, Lakai will happily farm up this wave now.
It's okay, so it doesn't end up actually being a kill, and they actually didn't get Lakai's flash either. So, like you said, it is slightly better here for BYG, but I just like to see the attempt from Chiefs, right? I really like to see the fact that they aren't just going to roll over these early games like they did in the previous series. Admittedly, like we said, CFO was a much stronger early game opponent, but here, you know, actually able to match BYG, although down 1,000 gold already. Kind of been invisible the way it's building up. I guess a lot of that just currently in the mid lane first blood.
Yeah, first blood and assist, that'll be, what's that, 600 gold, and then a few of the waves are pushing into the side of Chiefs, so it will bounce back a little bit. But yeah, I think mainly just that first blood gold, and that is now turned into Boots of Lucidity for that Gragas, so he'll have a better time sustaining up in this lane as well as sort of clearing it out and gaining pressure for himself. You have to be worried though. I feel like Gragas and Pantheon skirmishing now is going to be a big threat for the side of Chiefs to deal with.
Okay, so Kongwei, they're looking towards the dragon here. I think they've spotted out Ray's recalling, so most likely can just pick this up with their mid and bot priority. And this is definitely giving me CFO vibes right now, kind of reminiscent of that previous series where CFO, they just start up the dragon pretty much whenever they're able to and have that as your scaling win condition. As we see another pause come out, I want to quickly say that it is the Giant Belt, which has been picked up by Babbitt's Maokai, so should be looking towards that Demonic Embrace. I think is a smart decision here. Obviously don't have the most AP in the world, and I think having that Maokai with a Demonic, it goes a long way towards just making sure the enemy team can't stack full armor.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's pretty necessary here in this game. I mean, other than all AD damage that which they do have a little bit of true damage coming from the Cassante. I mean, it's pretty negligible early game, but as he builds up those resistances, he'll also be able to impact sort of through armor as this game progresses. And I don't know, I mean, I think so far the Chiefs has shown a lot more proactivity than they did pretty much in the whole series Thursday night. And so I do like that out of them. It's a shame that it didn't end up in anything. I mean, Kongyue matching it very well and being at the right place, right time. As well as I feel like Jax is one of the harder top lane champions to dive. He does have access to that Counter-Strike. But again, I think getting this proactivity is really good. And I mean, even if nothing comes of it now, that's not to say nothing will come of it if you keep trying.
Definitely. And I also think that stylistically, like forget the drafts for a moment, stylistically, if Chiefs could come out of the early game even, they would probably be ahead just because of the way they play. They are kind of, you know, again, known for that really strong, solid team fight, especially that comes from Raze. So while it is something a bit different for Kize in the mid game, you know, it hasn't gone for the, you know, the kind of mid-game assassin like you would normally see him on. Cassante is still quite strong in the mid game, right? Still, I feel like plays towards that win condition. But BYG, I mean, they're no slouches in team fights either.
No, definitely not. And I mean, that man on your camera right there, Kongyue, definitely one of the better team fighting junglers, as I've touched on already. And I feel like you do feel good as Chiefs having him on Pantheon. I mean, you already saw that he has a lot of impact earlier than he usually would, to be honest. Like, we don't usually see him getting kills that early, but you do feel like what he can do in a team fight is a lot less on the likes of Pantheon. I mean, if you Chiefs should be able to play around the likes of a Pantheon one-shot. You know, they do have the tools available. I mean, Xayah in herself does have that available to her. And everyone else is a bit too tanky to be able to be killed. So I feel like progressing through this game, Chiefs will look better and better as the game progresses. To answer, I mean, there is Jax, but Jace scales very well as well. And yeah, I don't know. I feel like Chiefs, if they can keep on the sort of path they're on now, as long as they don't bleed too many dragons and Rift Heralds, which will be spawning soon, I feel like they do have a real shot on this. I mean, we've seen them down 10k gold and win team fights before, so I don't hate it. I have hope here for the OCE.
I think I have hope here as well, as it is a hardware issue. Just, I believe, a mouse, I think, being swapped out here for the side of BYG, it looks like. So it shouldn't be too long before we return back to the Rift. And I think hope is kind of what the Oceanic fans want at this point, right? Because starting off 0-6, our two teams, Bliss and Chiefs, and now all the kind of Oceanic hopes and dreams, you know, resting on two teams in the losers bracket. It's not the best position to be in, but I'm still liking Chiefs' chances in this game.
Yeah, definitely. And as you said, I mean, you and myself are you know, LCO fans, and somewhat at least. And honestly, I want to see the boys do something, get it done this game. I feel like
flash.
they can. Nice flash flay here from Aladoric, but Zeri will ride the wall and get out to safety. And this is it. This is the sort of attempts you want to see. Eventually, it will be able to pay off. They did just get the flash off of Feng.
If Feng no flash could definitely be punishable later on. Top matchup is also getting a bit dicey now. Both top laners having hit level 6. Ooh, maybe looking for something mid is Barbet.
Looking mid. 116 will be using that explosive cast. Does actually get knocked up here. Barbet will use Twisted Advance, knock him back. 116 extremely low, but with Kongwei arriving here, it's a bit dicey. Actually, nice trade there from Kisei. Everyone will run away here, but again, a favorable trade for Chiefs as more action down in the bot lane. Flay from Aladoric. He will get ignited. Doesn't die just yet. Sorry, it wasn't ignite. That was just Little Lance.
Yeah, lots of trading happening back and forth. Kongwei even forced out of the jungle here. Proactivity from Chiefs is looking good, but still remain at that 1k gold deficit and down the dragon. Something that we've... Oh, the hook hits.
Nice hook, and also Featherstorm will get the kill with the Blade Caller, will Raze. Feng, though, ghosting forward. Raze has to ghost away himself, and it is traded. Kongwei will pick off Aladoric in the little bot lane there. What's it called?
Scuffle? Skirmish?
Yeah, no, the alcove, that's it.
Ah, I see what you're looking for. Now, Baba, he is starting up the Herald here. It was a 1-for-1 trade bot, but importantly, it was Raze who picked up the kill. Teamfight King getting that kill early on will be good, and perhaps can accelerate himself even more if this Herald gets used bot. Although, members of BYG are starting to look for this. Kongwei is so far away, though, and I think it will be picked up here for Chiefs. Something we've kind of criticized the Oceanic teams for several times now is the fact that while they do find opportunities, they don't often lead to the objectives, right? Just ends up being the kill. So we'll have to see, can the Chiefs bot lane transition this to anything more? Does start off with Aladoric hitting the hook onto Kino. He actually has flash, but you know, wasn't expecting the hook coming out, and just the chain CC takes him out before he has an opportunity. Kongwei, though, ults almost from mid to come down here. So once again, just a KP so high for the man. It's just always involved in his team's plays.
Yeah, and I'm not exactly sure, but I'm pretty certain that this Rift Herald was the first objective Chiefs have picked up here in the PCS. So already showing better. Yeah,
neutral
I'm pretty
objective.
certain. Yeah, neutral objective. So I'm pretty certain about that. I know they didn't get any dragons, but I think things are looking so much better for Chiefs already, and I truly think they have such a good opportunity in this game. Kongwei will be spotted out.
Is spotted out, like you say. So Biopanther will be able to avoid this for now. I think it is like maybe kind of weird that we are saying how good a chance Chiefs have despite them being down 1,000 gold, but it's more just like where that gold is and comparing it to previous matches, right? The gold being on Raze, I think, is exactly who you want it on. And just, you know, in pretty much every game the Chiefs have played so far, you know, like we said, down 4,400 gold at 15 minutes. So pretty much everything is an improvement over that. And we have seen good team fighting from them. And I think that's really where they're going to shine, especially in this game with their pretty strong team fighting on the bot side here with that 4-man. Is very, very strong. Aladoric looking for something mid. 116 does not have the flash. He's pretty healthy, though. They were spotted out on this pink, and I think Babip's going to find it now.
So Dragon in 1 minute, do you contest this as Chiefs? I feel like you have the opportunity to. It does look like Zeri is a little bit stronger than Xayah at the moment. But you do have flash available on Xayah, whereas you don't for the Zeri. So I feel like as Chiefs, you might want to. You could even bring Jace down potentially if he can get a bit of a shove going in that top lane.
Yeah, it's interesting. I think you either contest it or you try trade a lot of plates with this tower, right? Because if you could drop Herald bot, you know, trade a lot of plates onto the Xayah, I think that would be pretty good. But it can be difficult just because of its proximity to bot lane. But speaking of bot lane proximity, both junglers are around here, perhaps feeling a 3v3. Kongwei sneaks into the bush.
Alidoric will Hex Flash, actually stunned up by Kongwei, and he will be going down extremely quickly. Flash might just save him, as Nature's Grasp will land onto Feng, but too much damage coming out for Beyond. Barbip now getting chased down, but he should be okay to just walk away from the zaps.
Yeah, so low, chunked out here on the side of Chiefs, and I think that should be the second dragon picked up for BYG, and that's definitely starting to get a little scary, just giving them a drag win condition. It is just kind of good response there from Kongwei. Managed to get into that bush, and so much damage traded onto Alidoric. The flash forced out as well. Can limit the Chiefs' proactivity here quite a bit. Was nice though that Raze managed to keep his sums. I think is pretty important if they do look for any sort of fights. Better might look to try yoink this, but don't think he'll be able to. Needs to be careful how far up he goes.
This is walking in. This has to be careful. I mean, he can get CC down so quickly. Will not get the smite. So secured there from Kongwei, and he's getting chased down. Lantern will get him out. So nice job by Alidoric to be in the right place there to save the jungler's life.
Was nice indeed. Now can go back towards bot. Heavy trades coming out at mid, and Kizze's starting to get bullied a little bit. Gragas with the Catalyst sustain, is quite hard to lane against here.
Now, I feel like with that dragon going down, Kisei actually dodges out of the explosive cask, is extremely low, but Barbip on the side looking for Rift Herald plates, and I think that was just going to time out, and it's only going to be solo plates for Barbip.
Herald mid is definitely interesting. I feel like it's pretty useless, to be honest. The gold going on to the tanky members. The hook connects onto Kongwei, has the E though.
A lot of damage coming out of that Pantheon, and yeah, the tower plate onto the tree.
It was kind of weird. I mean, I guess if you think of it from the... Oh, as we see trade into Feng. If you think of the perspective, your solo AP got the gold, I mean, maybe there's an argument for that, but I think it would still be better used on the Xayah, especially because down 2 dragons, you really need to make sure you contest the third one, right? And if Raze can't hit his power spike before then, could actually be quite difficult, because while there is like a lot of tanks from the side of Chiefs, there's not a lot of sustained DPS, right? I guess there's the Cassante and the Jace poke, but it's really Raze that's going to be the backbone of their team fight. And if they can't get him strong enough in time, 3 minutes and 30 seconds from now, they're going to be forced into a difficult decision of, do we give this up and try and buy ourselves more time to scale? Or can we not do that and just be forced to contest that third drag?
Absolutely, and I have to say though, like, even though the plate's probably better on the Xayah, it is nice now that you have this demonic embrace in preparation for the dragon in 3 minutes, because that gives you a lot of control around it. As Feng getting really aggressive here, will actually have to pop the ult and will dodge out of Alidoric's hook, but that is ult now down for Zeri, so trades off a lot of health onto Raze, but you have to like that for the Chiefs. It gives them a bit of time of safety in the bot lane, as Barbip now looking top. Lakai will have Counter-Strike available for now, as Biopanther extremely low. We'll have to be careful as Kongwei will come in, and Barbip's going to go down.
Wow, really nice read there from Kongwei once again. 116, maybe can chase on a bio though. He has flash, so it doesn't look like it's going to be anything there, but I believe that was Lakai who picked up the kill, and I think that means quite a lot for the top matchup, right? If Jax can get ahead in this matchup and just be able to jump on Biopanther without enough damage being traded back, can actually start going the other way. Bio's had good control and has himself a slight CS lead, but it's definitely getting smaller. Speaking of CS leads though, actually pretty significant CS lead for Feng. It's going to be a lot stronger at the second drag compared to the Xayah, especially with that Lulu to buff him up as well. And with another Herald going down, I mean, the initial early game, I think, was looking more promising for Chiefs. Oh,
yeah, Kisse getting extremely low here. Will be found all out, actually, and Wild Growth actually committed there. I don't know if he had to use that, but another kill going over to 1116.
It's not looking as good here for Chiefs, especially with this third dragon coming up so soon, 1 minute and 40 seconds. Kisse perhaps not looking too comfortable on the Cassante. Obviously did fall down very early in the game. It's not a champion he's known for, I suppose, but it's normally very, very comfortable on these melee champions. So we'll have to see again what he can do in these team fights. It is 116, so he's 2-0 on the Gragas, rapidly accelerating towards that 2-item power spike as well. Now this Herald from BYG, I wonder if they'll just use it mid prior to actually contesting the drag, just to kind of secure that early entry into the river, force Chiefs to respond to the Herald, and so give yourselves a better position on that drag. His hook comes out, but it doesn't lead to anything.
Yeah, and I think with Iceborne Gauntlet not yet being completed on Kisei, he might have to try and find this farm bot lane. Hopefully get enough for that item, recall and teleport to the dragon. 1116 also does have teleport available top, while Biopanther does not. So it feels like this dragon's going to be really hard to contest, but maybe if Maokai can set up a few saplings around it, it'll be get enough damage on there to maybe look to try and contest this. But giving away the third dragon at 16 minutes doesn't feel very good at all.
No, we'd be looking at CFO level of speedrun on the Dragon Soul if that were the case. As the Herald is cleared out kind of early, but it is now BYG who have the control established early. And who do you face check with here as the side of Chiefs? Babip is not super tanky. He's mainly just a lot of health, but no resistances at that point. Maybe can check. Oh, 116 not on the bush. They do check out with that Jace poke. They're trying to regain control, but it's mid and bot priority going the way of BYG. Hook almost lands on the Feng, but not quite.
Yeah, just... We do have Barb up here being really annoying with those saplings, which is very nice, and Biopanther not offering too much damage yet with that, as we do see Kongyue hooked, but not too much damage to follow up on that one. Nature's Grasp used, Flash Hook will go wide, but we do see Kisei in the middle of the fight. All out does go on to Kongyue. He's extremely low. No Wild Growth now available for Zeri, but first kill picked up for BYG onto Kisei. Eladoric now getting extremely low. Flash, body slam by 116, will find 3 as Eladoric will get chased down. That's a triple kill for Feng.
Things are looking really rough here for the side of Chiefs now. They lose the fight 3-0. They lose their mid-tier 1 and the Dragon as well. Such a huge lead for BYG, and it's not what we'd expect maybe. BYG, they're very, calm, controlled, but don't often find themselves as big leads in the early game. Kongyue kind of enables a lot of it, but you don't see them really pulling ahead the kind of leads that they do now. But Chiefs perhaps just a bit too weak across the board as BYG, they accelerate themselves to what is almost an unthrowable lead here, I feel like. With the 3 dragons giving you so much safety, you really only need to pick up one more drag at any point in the game to get yourselves that soul. Only 18 minutes in. Even the bot tier 1 picked up as well. Take a look at how this actually unfolded. It was Chiefs that decided to pull the trigger. They haven't really landed a lot of pokes. I think this is a kind of mistake maybe that they pulled the trigger so early. You've got the Maokai saplings, you've got the Jace poke, but none of it's landed. And you try and engage on the team that's built for that 5v5. And if you look at Feng on the backside, there's no threat onto him whatsoever. He's far ahead of Raze. He's hitting for free. Lakai, he gets in as well. And Feng's so strong that he can just flash forward, knowing that there's no threats on him at all. Just really feels himself, and they chase them all down. So it feels like, once again, Chiefs perhaps not playing as well as they should towards their game plan.
Yeah, definitely. You do feel... I mean, I'm very curious as to why they felt the need to pull the trigger right there. I mean... I feel like as Chiefs, you're happy to just poke around the dragon and keep getting Raze onto that mid wave. And yeah, I'm not sure. They are behind as we do see 1116 get flayed, and Threshold will be committed. Nature's Grasp also used, but that Seraph shield is absolutely massive. Wild Growth will follow up, and Barbip's in a lot of problem. Here comes Feng. Feng picks up 2. Actually, he only picks up the 1, but now Raze will have to commit that ult. He can find a kill here if Featherstorm was available, but it won't be. And that's just 4 clean kills.
Really is, and now I wonder, if Baron were up, I think they'd take it, but at only 19 minutes and 38 seconds here, they can't yet, and you're quickly running out of options here for the Chiefs. You're kind of one scaling win condition here in Razor's Zaya does go down, and it feels almost unlosable now for BYG. They're just so ahead. And they've got so many options, right? They're so tanky. It's so hard. Aladoric, he tried to find something onto the Gragas, but he just buys so much time, right? Has the Seraphs and the Rod of Ages. Refuses to die. They're now going to try look maybe on the Kai. I think he's out. Oh, Byro, he's TP'd in. Kongyue has the ult to respond.
Will not find this slow, so Lakai should be fine to just walk away. Although Kisei now teleporting in, but won't look for it. And yeah, I feel like... I mean, we'll have a look here, but I don't think Raze was available to be even doing damage, so you're just not going to kill this Gragas in any sort of speedy amount of time.
Yeah, it takes so long, and like you said, Raze kind of just walking to the fight most of it, and then Feng, the hook misses on him once again, and once that's gone, the Jace poke is too behind to really stick, although Kongyue, he's picked up on the mid game, and I think Chiefs should probably just Hail Mary the Baron. I don't think there's a way back in this game, and to be honest, maybe you can't even do this Baron, but I think you have to try something at this point.
Yeah, they do have Jace as well as those saplings to try and poke out the side of Beyond as they walk towards this, but Lakai has found himself a flank here. Feng goes in, pops it. Oh, there's a 3-man stun from the Jacks as we see Chiefs just going down. Double kill now for Feng. Zap, zap, zap. He tips up a triple kill. Barbet will be going down as well. Are they finding it for Feng? I guess so, but... Oh, delaying, I guess, staggering the recalls.
He's got it.
There you go.
The pentakill is picked up for Feng on the Zeri, and PCS Zeri Lulu, we say it time and time again. It's not something we really saw much in Oceania, but PCS has extremely high priority on it for a reason. And I kind of understand what Chiefs were going for there. It really feels like the game is mostly over, so you have to try something. Unfortunately, though, BYG, they respond correctly. They punish Chiefs for their overextension. And I think now, with the 4th dragon spawning in just another minute and an unstoppable gold lead here, I don't see any way back in here for the Chiefs. You have to already start be thinking about, that second game. What are you going to change? Because, again, early game proactivity-wise looked good, but the early game outcome was much the same, right? Fell so far behind, lost that first team fight very decisively. If you take a look back at what happened, I think the initial... Yeah, okay, so they picked Kongyue while we're in the replay. He's up pretty far. Honestly, they used the all-out, but for the most part, still have their cooldowns available. So it wasn't, like they committed everything and then didn't have anything left. I think the problem is they're just not really strong enough to do this, right? They don't have great turning tools. It really is just the Maokai ult. And other than that, it feels just so easy for Feng. You can kind of see him on the side, especially once Maokai was ulted away, can just kind of go into the backline 1v3. And so many different flanks, so many different angles here for BYG and Chiefs. I mean, it's so hard to find something that works, right? Pretty much any play you make now isn't really going to come out. And ultimately, it was Feng, although Feng's finding more kills.
Yeah, we have another fight. Feng has gone in. He will flash away from that hook. He's found another 2. Will he find a 3rd? Not just yet, but it does look like this game will be going over. Actually, he did find the 3rd.
Yeah, he got someone there. How many kills do you have? It's like 13 or 14
I think he's
or
at
something?
13, yeah. This area is looking problematic.
Certainly is. I think BYG most likely will be able to push to the end here. There isn't enough wave clear available from the side of Chiefs. And something we didn't really expect, a 23-minute victory looking like it will come out as Kize and Ray is the 2 carries of the Chiefs. They're going to try and mount some sort of defense here, but I don't think it's going to be enough as the Nexus now is being sieged, although...
Yeah, last-minute effort. Lakai will be actually going golden here in the backline as Feng picks up his 14th. Can he look for a 15th here? We are looking for damage. No one's hitting the Nexus just yet. Hook goes wide. Flash onto the Zeri there, but he'll just get away, and that'll be game 1 done.
Game 1 done and dusted. Feng 14-0-3 on the Zeri. I think we got to stop giving PCS ADC Zeri. Literally every single one of them are so good at it. And, oh man, I think, again, I don't even know where you go with this from Chiefs, right? You had side selection. I think you come in with your new game plan, and BYG, they just shut it down immediately. They don't let Chiefs into this game at all. And I don't know. I think that while they could maybe go in a different direction by choosing the red side, maybe look for Kize to have that counter pick, was like mid the big differentiating factor? Not really. It kind of just felt like every play that, Chiefs, they were getting flashes, they were getting, a couple kills here and there. Once again, never leads into anything. Find themselves at such a significant deficit at that at that 3rd dragon. Forced to fight it after losing the first 2, and BYG just so much stronger at that point. Just kind of clean them up without too much affair.
Yeah, absolutely. And I feel like they sort of hindered their chances too by banning out that Vi and then giving away the Zeri, because Vi typically is sort of the best answer to that combo, and then once you